Hello friends, Thrift Store Dave here. This week I am doing a what sold video on hats that I've bought and sold over the past 6 months. I realize it's been that long since I did my last one, and I've got a whole lot of sales of very different kinds of hats that are profitable if you find them in the thrift store for a good price. So let's begin. First, we have an Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, or AOPA hat that I got in an estate sale clean out for free. I was able to flip it for $20, didn't take very long. After that, I do have a hat that took a while to sell. I bought it because it looked really cool. It had a patch on it. Patched hats are kind of trendy right now. So dewtour, I paid $6 for this, a little more than I normally like to pay. Finally got rid of it like a year and a half later for $14. So a lesson I learned to do some homework before committing to something if the price is over $1 or $2. After that, we've got a Brothers rooster hat. Brothers is a very popular hat brand right now. This one I got in a lot of 3 hats, I believe, on shopgoodwill.com. I paid $25 for the whole lot. Sold this hat alone for $25 and the others for a good amount more after that. After that, we've got a Boknows hat. Now, anyone in Chicago appreciates Bo Jackson when he moved from the Kansas City Royals to the Chicago White Sox. And so he had a whole campaign in the early 90s. That dates the hat. And people who are Bo Jackson fans want these hats. And this one cost me only $2. I was able to move it on for $16. Next, I came upon a velour alpine hat. This one was Dobbs brand, which is a high quality brand. I found this in a Goodwill online lot for $22 for the whole lot. Sold this hat alone for $34. They always sell before Oktoberfest, so if they're in good shape and they're green, hold them for September. I've made $124 in total sales from that hat lot. After that, I was able to get another hat lot on Goodwill for $22, and this was a Cadillac snapback hat. It was an old corduroy one. It had a rope. It was new with tags, so it was easily sold for $35. Next was another hat found in a lot. This was a Nike Golf Flex Fit hat. Paid $41 for this whole lot. I keep good notes on everything. This one I sold for $15. I had to piecemeal this lot a little more than the other lots I've bought in the past, but I'm up to $60 and counting, so I'm money ahead. After that, I've got a vintage resistol hat. That is another hat that if you're looking for old fedoras that have good resale value, Resistol is a brand out there. This was an 880 version. Paid $22 again for a whole lot of hats. Sold this one alone for $30. Thank you so much for watching so far. Please like the video if you're enjoying the content. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and you like watching a dorky dad who likes to resell things broadcast on YouTube. Here's some more sales. Here we have a Green Bay Packers hat. I'm not going to read the content of it. You read it if you like. I got this hat as part of a $45 bag O hats that I got at the thrift store. This hat alone sold for $25. Still waiting to sell the original Marcus Mathers shady hat that I have from that bag. After that, there was another Bob Marley hat from another online Goodwill $22 lot I paid. This hat alone sold for $16. There was another hat in that lot that sold for much more, so I made a good profit on that lot. After that, I've got a U.S. Postal Service Express Mail hat. U.S. Postal Service stuff is very collectible. I don't know if it's due to people who appreciate mail or people who delivered it who appreciate it. Either way, pay the $1 for this, sold it for $20. Next, I've got a Wilson's leather hat. Part of this lot of hats I got on Goodwill for $22. Includes a couple others you saw already. This one alone went for $18 to a really happy person in Tennessee who left really nice feedback about it. Next, I was able to resell a Detroitlions hat that I got in another $20 lot of hats for $20 on its own. Really grateful that they're starting to do better as a team. Probably a lot of stuff out there of theirs that could sell now. After that, I paid $2 for the Chicagocubs hat at the thrift store in my local town. It was digital camo, so a unique variant, sold very easily for $20. Another Yankees hat, also part of a hat lot for $20. This one I sold for less, but it's because I made so much money on the lot already. I was just fire selling stuff, so sold this one for only $14. And then after that, similar idea, I had this $60 Goodwill lot of hats that included a Carhartt hunting cap. This one I sold for $17, but in the lot, I've sold $120 worth of hats and counting. All right, we are now 2/3 of the way through the video. 8 hats to go. Please, again, like the video if you do, so it can get distributed to other folks out there. All right, let's see what else we've got left. Here we have a country gentleman fedora that I was happy to get out from under. I paid $8 for it, but sold it for $20, so I made money, but I should have made more money by paying less for this hat. After that, having learned that lesson, I did much better in this Mac Fergus hat. Not a common hat brand, but a very nice velour vintage hat. This was part of a $20 lot. This hat alone I sold for $20, and I've made $85 on the whole lot so far, so 4 times what I invested. After that is a Herrera Cigars hat. This is a cigar company out of Nicaragua, very niche. Overpaid for the hat a little bit at $5, but I just held on to it long enough. It's stacked amongst other hats that I sit on and wait to sell, so I still sold it for $20 and made a decent profit. It's a nice hat. And then after that, we've got a vintage Stetson black leather flat cap. This was part of one of those other hat lots that had the resistol hat and such. So this hat alone sold for $24, which was more than I paid for the entire hat of lots. See a pattern here? Okay, so now we're on the home stretch. Next we have a Burton Snowboards hat. Paid only $1 for this hat. It's got some very curious content, and so I figured anybody who is cannabis inclined would love this hat, and they sold it for $20. Then we paid only $2 for this vintage Donegal Irish hat. It was tweed. It was kind of rainbow confetti-like, so unique. Easily sold for $25. Another hat from a large lot, so I just sold it quickly. Anything that's Michael Jordan, I'll list for $23, even if it's worth less. Someone will just buy it because they like that it's his jersey number, and sometimes I negotiate down, and this one I sold for $17. And then lastly, I found this really cool foam mesh hat. It was from the 80s at McDonald's Shamrock Shake hat. I was hoping this would go for more than it went for, but I only paid $1 for it, so I didn't feel horrible letting it go for $18. All right, so that's going to wrap it up. 24 hats that I made really good money buying and selling over the last 6 months. Now when you're out there thrifting or at garage sales or estate sales, if you find these items for the right price, you know you've got some good margins you can make on them. Made a lot of money on this bunch. If you're curious about other hats like the ones I'm wearing, please check out my eBay page, which is LC208. Also, again, continue to check my channel from week to week and see what things are selling for. Thank you as always so much for watching. I'm Thrift Store Dave.